If I were rich, I'd be throwing my money around buying all sorts of stupid expensive shit.
Random things, like things that only you could own, like how Michael Jackson at the bought the bones to the Elephant Man. That'd be sweet.
Nobody else could own that.
Yeah, I know you. There's only one. You got it.
Exactly. So.
And then what do you do with it other than be an asshole and tell people you own it? That's the only use for it. Be like, do you know what that pile of shit is? No, it's the bones to the Elephant Man.
You take pictures of it, put it on your Facebook.
Yeah, there you just say that. I have the Elephant Man's bones, lol.
Like, look what I got, because I'm the shit.
What would you buy, though? Michael Jackson's dead. I bet you could get the Elephant Man's bones.
You could probably get Michael Jackson's bones if you paid enough.
He didn't have bones by this point. World War II's fun.
Yeah, World War II was a great study.
It really is, and in retrospect, it's one of those things that's great because it's like, you know where to feel good about it. You're like, Hitler, he was an asshole. You know that. You know,
it's almost like a movie. It's almost like a movie where, like, he's the bad guy.
He is. Yeah, and he's recognizable as a bad guy for the exact reason he wanted to be, which is kind of cool. Like, if you were going to give them credit anywhere, they researched their shit. You know, like, never are you going to go draw a swastika in your life and go, like, and forget that it has to do with Nazis. You know? Like, because they sat there and were like, dude, you're going to run the country? Okay, well, funny mustache, let's get some flags going that everyone will recognize. And they, like, had a PR campaign.
Yeah, they really had some great, like stuff going for them. They had cool, like, uniforms and, like...
Yeah, that's the one area they outclass us in. You know, they have a quite nice uniforms. Like, they're very organized in that respect.
I've always been upset about that because, you know what? They had such cool uniforms, but you can't ever wear one of those anymore.
Right, you can't look cool doing that because Nazis were evil bastards. It's like the Stormtrooper thing. Stormtroopers kind of look cool, but they're the, you know, Nazis of space. So you can't wear
basically.
That. It's like when people dress up like them at, like, Comic-Con and stuff, it's like, you know that you're basically an evil space Nazi, right? I don't get why that's cool.
Yeah, they do it anyway, though.
Did you notice that everyone who's in the Empire is white
if I went to a
British?
convention, if I went to a convention dressed as a Nazi, though,
that would be funny.
It'd be funny,
like,
maybe, but it wouldn't go over well.
What? He's a stormtrooper. That's like the same thing. I went to that one.
I'll think about it.
Whatever the WonderCon.
The best thing we got going for us is the Motor City Comic Con.
Right? Do people that are cool show up? Like, I met Deanna Troy. What's her name?
I met a few cool people. I got some autographs. I got, like, Riker's autograph.
Oh, that's cool.
I got, who else did I get?
Did you nerd all over him? Like, oh, you're so cool. I don't like you.
You know what? I remember when I met him, I didn't know what to say to him. I felt like, and I think I literally said, hi, I really like your work. Will you sign this for me? Like, I didn't know what to say.
And you know what? The other thing with Riker, I don't like him. Like, I think he as a person is fucking cool. Like, he's always awesome when I watch interviews or things where he talks about Star Trek shit, but he was a terrible character.
You didn't like Riker?
Riker, what the hell did he do? He didn't do shit. He just sat next to Picard and, like, womanized.
Well, that was the thing, is that they wrote Riker as Captain Kirk's... They wrote him as a Kirk.
Right. But he never got to do it. Like, Kirk was, like, an actual badass. He would actually do shit. Like there's that one episode of the old show where he's, like, transporting a princess who's, like, a total bitch, and he, like, slaps her. And you're like, yeah, she deserved that. She's not very nice. But Riker wouldn't do that. Riker was a pussy.
This would be a good geek battle debate. It would be like, who's cooler, Riker or Kirk?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, what's
that?
You really be like, no,
Riker
was cool in Nemesis, I guess.
You could say a lot of badass things about Riker. Riker's pretty badass. I mean,
I never got it. Like, I always thought they tried to make it badass in, like, the first couple seasons, and it was, like, lame. And eventually they just gave up. Like, there's never a worse point in the whole series of TNG, I think, when he comes out of the, like, I don't know, he's in a room or he's talking to the captain or he comes off the fucking turbo lift and Deanna looks at him and they stare back and forth in the first episode of that, the Encounters at Farpoint.
Yeah.
And you're like, they show her in this, like, weird, frumpy, gross close-up. Like, she looks awful. Why are you in love with that?
And that's the only time that he's ever been called Bill. She calls him Bill in that scene.
And it's weird because Bill is a name you can't take seriously as a commander. Like in space.
Well, that's kind of the thing is that they were lovers, so she calls him Bill, but she never does it ever again.
Yeah, and she shouldn't. I'm glad she calls him Will because Bill is not a name I can take seriously. Like we were like, oh, there's a space probe and it's gonna kill us all. Get Captain Bill. No, not gonna do that.
I like Riker. Riker's how can you?
I like Riker. Like I'm not disagreeable with him when he's on the screen. But when they try to turn him into a badass, he just comes off creepy. And he has an evil twin, and that's stupid.
He doesn't have an evil twin. He has a clone.
Yeah. That's still dumb. In the Deep Space Nine episode where he comes back, I'm his evil brother. Like,
that was a good episode, though.
It was an okay episode, but it was good, still stupid. Because he takes off half the... Okay.
Riker.
In not counting the dork factor of it, like, that's actually kind of awesome. Within the episode, it's stupid that he has to remove his sideburns. He's like, who am I? Why, I'm Thomas Riker. And he takes his sideburns off and makes sure he has a goatee. That's fucking dumb.
What's fun is that, he appeared in 4 different series of Star Trek. Because he was in Next Generation, then he was in Deep Space Nine. He was also in Voyager and Enterprise.
I didn't watch Enterprise, and I think I gave up on Voyager before he showed up. Unless he's in the one where they have that...
No, he's in a really early episode of Voyager. I don't know what the name of it is off the top of my head, but it was the one where the 1Q wants to commit suicide. Okay, it was a fairly early episode of Voyager.
See, I own the first season, and it took me 6 months to finish all 13 episodes or something, because it was just not good. But I did watch, I want to say, the first 3 seasons when they originally aired. Maybe more than that. I think I got to where Borg were involved. But I hated that, because it was like, it was like the show fucking the whole time.
The thing was, actually, if you want my opinion, they held out on the board for a long time.
I thought it was a cop. That was the whole reason that goddamn show failed. Like, overall. Because it was them going about their, like, that was their change. They mentioned, I read some book about this where they were talking about that Star Trek, the later seasons were about removing shit. That's how they did it. It was like, Deep Space Nine was taking the entire concept of Star Trek and removing space travel. Even though they didn't really. It was about, it's all going to take place in a static location and we're always going to be right here. And then that one, Voyager, was like, well, we're going to remove the known universe. But when all your aliens are, people with funny shit on their faces, you can't really do that. Because then you're just making less interesting people with funny shit on their faces.
You have to try something new when you're starting a new series.
Yeah, but Voyager never did anything with it, and the shit they did do, it was kind of retarded. I will admit that occasionally they do something fun, but unless it's about the Doctor, it's lame.
I disagree. I'm a big fanboy, I'll admit, but Voyager had some really great concepts as far as episodes go. They had really great classic Star Trek concepts, and you really have to watch the whole series to really pick from them.
Yeah, but I honestly don't remember it. I just rewatched season 1, and it was very...
Well, you gotta think. All the writers from the Next Generation, when Next Generation was over, they went to Voyager.
That's sad.
And a lot of them stayed on. Well,
TNG is a show that I admittedly love, but really, it's... About halfway through season 3, they started making every other episode good, and they did that until season 6. And then season 7 was really dorky, and then they ended.
They had some good season 7 episodes.
They did, but they had a lot of bad ones where they were taking season 7 on its own is hilarious because it's every episode is every character has a lost family member. Really? That's what you guys came up with for everybody? In 1 year, it's we had to watch Worf's brother and Data's mom.